I would like to call to order the, well, if I can read the date, October 26th meeting of the Columbia Heights Board of Education. If you are able, please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thank you so much for joining us. If you're watching at home, special welcome to you. Laura, if you wouldn't mind doing the roll call, please.
Granlund?
Here.
Mueller?
Here.
Lewis? Palmer? Here. Severson?
Here.
And Superintendent Stenvick?
Here. All right, great. Our mission statement is creating worlds of opportunity for each and every learner. All belong, all succeed. And our core values are community, excellence, collaboration, integrity, respect, courage, and innovation. We'll move on to the agenda, adjustments, announcements, and correspondence. I'm looking for a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved.
Lorian, second.
Second.
Laura? Any discussion on the agenda? All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? All right, motion carries. We'll move on to the announcements. November 9th, Tuesday at 5 p.m., there will be a subcommittee on policy in the training room. November 9th, Tuesday at 7 p.m., there will be a regular school board meeting in the community room. November 11th and 12th, there will be, which are Thursday and Friday, there will be no school for in-service and grading days. November 16th, Tuesday at 5:30 p.m., there'll be a school board work session here in the community room. November 23rd, Tuesday at 7 p.m., there'll be a regular school board meeting here in the community room. And November 25th and 26th, the Thursday and Friday, there's also no school. Correspondence, Superintendent Stenvick, do we have any correspondence?
Madam Chair, there's no correspondence at this time.
All right, thanks. We will move on to the communication to the board. At this time, any citizen or employee may briefly address the school board. The board will listen to the brief remarks, ask clarifying questions, and if desired, request that the administration follow up. The board will not take action at this meeting on requests presented at this time. And seeing there's no one here and no one submitted a blue card, we will move on to the consent agenda. The consent agenda includes the personnel report, the lane changes, and the treasurer report from April, May, June, and July. All right. Can I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Mary?
Second.
Second, Lorian. Any discussion on that? All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? All right, motion carries. We'll move on to one of my favorite parts of the meeting is the acknowledgement of contributions. Whoa, I need to make this much bigger. Hold on. All right, I'll read the resolution, then I'll ask for a motion. Acknowledgements of contributions resolution. Whereas Minnesota Statute 123B02 permits school boards to receive for the benefit of the district bequests, donations, or gifts for any proper purpose and apply the same to the purpose designated. In that behalf, the board may act as trustee of any trust created for the benefit of the district and the benefit of the peoples thereof. Therefore, be it resolved by the School Board of Columbia Heights Public Schools Independent School District Number 13 that the board accepts with appreciation the contributions detailed in the background in the amount of $1,554. Detailed background includes donation of hats and scarves made to Valley View Elementary by Betty Hissick for student needs, estimated value of $30. Donations of supplies was made to Valley View Elementary by Joan Yackel for student needs, estimated $15. Donation of school supplies was made to Valley View Elementary School by Mark Emmy for building needs, estimated value of $509. Donation of 38 sets of hats and mittens was made to Highland Elementary, North Park School for Innovation, and Valley View Elementary by Fridley Campaign of Cheer for student needs, estimated value $500. Donations of 25 backpacks and school supplies was made by Heights Church to Highland Elementary for student needs of $500. And my computer won't scroll, and so I am now running to get the paper copy. Now I understand what you guys were talking about. Oh, lucky opening. All right, total fiscal year 2021, 2022 monetary contributions to date, $5,449. A motion to approve the contributions resolution.
So moved.
All right,
Second.
Laura and Lorian. Discussion?
Every week when we go over these things, I am just constantly in awe of how wonderful our community is and how much that they're giving, even though, you know, this is a difficult time for a lot of families. And so to see how much people are able to contribute to schools and to the scholars, you know, hats and gloves because it's cold outside. It's really wonderful to see. So thank you.
Yeah. Just, go ahead, Laura, or Lorian.
Just agree. Yep.
Agreed. Meeting those physical needs of those kids with hats and mittens, and it's such a tangible way, and we're thankful for all the ways that people contribute to the students, so. Any other discussion? All right. All those, this is a resolution, so we'll need a roll call vote, please, Laura.
Brandlin.
Aye.
Mueller.
Aye.
Palmer. Aye. Severson.
Aye. Motion carries. Great. We'll move on to discussion reports, information items, and we'll start with reports from members of the board. Laura, do you want to kick us off?
Well, I know I missed the last meeting, so I'm trying to have, you know, trying to figure out exactly what has happened since then. I did attend the work session last week and the special call meeting prior to this.
All right. We'll move on to Mary.
Well, I attended the work session last week, and I have had, especially as news keeps rolling out about the vaccine availability, possibly for some of our younger, I mean, essentially like our scholars, our K-5 kiddos. I've had more and more families reach out and ask about, like, what are we going to be doing? And I said that, you know, I know that we are looking forward to hosting another vaccine event as soon as everything gets, I mean, you know, we're hoping that everything gets approved and moving forward. So I'm telling people to continue to look for information from the district. So people are really excited about this possibility. So a lot of things about that. Otherwise, not much else on the school front. I think everybody's just sort of taking it chill on MEA. So.
Yeah. All right, Lorian.
Right. Yeah, since our last meeting, I was at the work session last week with all of you. Also attended the football game last week as well, and got to hear the pep band play too, so it's kind of fun to have that experience. I was at the city council meeting for the city of Columbia Heights last night as the liaison to the council, and one item to note is they have voted on creating a youth commission, which I thought was really exciting to involve the youth in what's happening in the city level as well. So that was really exciting. I attended the special called meeting prior to this, as well as the chair meeting, and had conversations with Member Lewis.
All right. I was able to also attend the chair meeting before last week's work session and then followed up by going to the work session. I also had a conversation with Member Lewis. I was able to attend the special called meeting this evening, the chair meeting prior to that, and then had multiple conversations with Superintendent Stenvik. All right, Superintendent Stenvik. Can we?
Yes.
Oh, sorry. I was trying, my computer was doing funny things. Superintendent Stenvik, do you have a report to share?
I do. Brief report. I met with the Local 710 president and their leadership team, along with Director Bennett. We continue to meet regularly, in particular to discuss COVID-related issues that all of the schools are facing right now. I attended a Metro EXU Executive Committee meeting, and Executive Director Nyembwe, Director Tuckerell, and I met with the director of an organization called Black Men Teach to explore a possible partnership. I was able to walk through all three schools with Executive Director Nyembwe and along with each of the principals, the three elementary schools. And I'll just, to follow up on what Member Granlund mentioned about vaccine clinics. We are indeed in partnership with Anoka County. This Thursday, the district will be providing information about a vaccination clinic for students ages 5 to 11. And it all depends on FDA and CDC approval, of course, but just people can mark their calendars for November 13th for dose 1. Dose 2 is December something, 3 weeks later. But we're planning on a Saturday, so to make it easier for families to come. And that is my report.
All right, thanks so much. We'll move on to our crazy last discussion item, which is World's Best Workforce Annual Report, and that will be given by Director Stunkel. I was going to say Stunkrol. It's a combination of two directors' names, though.
Okay, Chair Severson, members of the board, Superintendent Stenvik. I'm here this evening representing for Tara Tuckrell, who is not able to be here because she's not feeling well this evening. So I'll be presenting about the World's Best Workforce Annual Report. And I'm just trying to get it, there we go. Our mission, Columbia Heights Public Schools, creating worlds of opportunity for each and every learner. All belong, all succeed. This evening, the core values that I'll be discussing are community, excellence, and innovation. And this evening, this is an informational presentation. On November 9th, we will be coming back to ask the school board to approve the 2021 World's Best Workforce Annual Report. The World's Best Workforce Annual Report is based on the Minnesota Statute 2013, Section 120B.11. The World's Best Workforce requirement is for each school year, the school board must publish a report in the local paper, by mail, or by electronic means on the district website. We post ours on the district website for to be most accessible to people. So the World's Best Workforce Annual Draft Report, I'm going to click on this live link, but first I want to say that results for the 2020-2021 school year are not available for many goals due to the state requirement that all state assessments must be completed on site. In the past, we have very high participation, but because last year the requirements were that the assessments were done in person, we had lower participation, as you can appreciate, during the pandemic. Columbia Heights Public Schools staff use district assessments given on-site and virtually to support instruction aligned to the World's Best Workforce goals, though. So here on our website are our 5 goal areas. And this will be published once it's been approved by the board in November. Our first goal area, and I'll just scroll through here, but that students enrolled in pre-K 3 and 4 would show growth in all assessed areas as measured by TS Gold assessments given in the fall of 2020 and the spring of 2021. Goal area 2 is increased reading proficiency by 5% for 3rd grade students from all ethnic groups as measured by the MCA reading in 2021. Goal 3 area, the achievement gap in Columbia Heights Public Schools will decrease by 8% in the 2020-2021 school year as measured by the MCA reading in grades 3 to 11. So you see here throughout all of these that the results and response were unable to report as a result because of disruptions due to COVID-19. Goal area 4 was to increase the percentage of students by 10% overall that reach proficiency on the following benchmarks: MCA reading at 4th, 7th, and 10th, and MCA math at 5th, 8th, and 11th. Again, unable to report results because of disruptions due to COVID-19. And goal area 5, maintain graduation in 2020-2021 from the previous year of 2019 to 2020. So the Minnesota Department of Education has not yet released the 2021 graduation rates. That comes out in the spring. The graduation rate for Columbia Heights High School in 2020 was 89.7%, which was up from 84.1% in 2019. So we're very proud about that. The overall graduation rate for Minnesota was 83.8% in 2020. The district will post the 2021 results online when they are released. So the communication to the community, it's very important that the community has access to this information. It will be included in the Community Connections newsletter, which will be mailed out to all households in December. It will be included in our Highlander Connect newsletter. That's the newsletter that goes out to the community. It will be included in the Columbia Heights Public School update newsletter. That's sent to all parents, staff, and secondary students, and it will be posted on our website. So those communications via newsletter and website will be live once it's been approved by you in November, and then again, it goes out in the Community Connections in December. Are there any questions?
Yeah, Mary.
Thank you so much for that presentation. So I'm curious, I know that you said for accessibility, this information will be on the website, and I'm just curious, does our website also translate into other languages like our newsletters do, or will it
Yes.
be? Sorry, thank you.
Yes, it does have that capability, and it will be included in our newsletters, which the SMORE newsletter also has that feature of translation.
Awesome, thank you so much.
Lorian, virtual hand raise.
Yep, 2 questions. Can you reiterate, you may have said this, but for those that don't know, how are the goals determined?
So my understanding is that the World's Best Workforce, that's a committee that includes staff and families, and that they determine the goals together. And this is a situation where Tara would be able to go into much more detail. And I don't know if Superintendent Stenvik would want to weigh in, but I know that the World's Best Workforce is a committee that meets regularly. In fact, it just had a meeting this afternoon, and that they are involved also in the goals. Superintendent Stenvik, might I ask if you would like to share any more? Otherwise, of course, we can have Tara follow up, and we'll be presenting again when we do our action item.
Yep, absolutely. Thank you, Director Stunkel. The category, the big goal areas are outlined in statute. So those
Minnesota State.
Yep,
Sorry to interrupt.
the
Yeah.
120 point,
Okay. Oh,
yes.
yep.
And so those are the major goal areas, and Director Stunkel is absolutely correct. There's a World's Best Workforce Committee that has community members, parents, and staff, and they look at the data, and they discuss the goals and determine those goals. And that also is a requirement by the state.
As this is a sorry, did that answer your question? As this is a state statute, well, do you think other schools are going to be running into the same, like, we don't have the data, we don't have the data, so won't be terribly uncommon? I think if you're reading that and you're like, well, why not? You see that on the,
Yep, that's my understanding. There was
Yep.
a significant decrease in in-person assessment last spring across the state.
I have one other question.
yeah.
It kind of in line with that, I think obviously it's very clear that we don't have the data that we would need, but I think as mentioned, as Dr. Stunkel mentioned, I think as we know that our teachers and our staff are using the other assessments that are available to them to assess student needs and student learning. Are we communicating, or how are we communicating, through this or otherwise with our parents, community members in terms of what we're doing to help meet the goals and expectations, even if we can't assess them, providing the information in terms of what's happening to try to achieve the goals as outlined?
Yeah, so through our focus on Heighten Up, I think everyone knows that we are working for academic acceleration, and there are growth assessments that were given and are taken by students in K through 8 this fall. And so parents would have access through conferences in those conversations with teachers about where they're at and where there may be a need for academic acceleration and in which areas. So as we go through the year, those types of assessments will be done periodically throughout the school year to monitor and measure that growth.
I think and I know this, we kind of talk about that, I get on my soapbox every year as we talk about this report. It's just making sure that either if we're not meeting goals, or if, not achieving what we're looking to achieve, or unable to say that we have these parameters to meet these goals, that we're also talking about kind of in the same form, whether it's in the newsletter, the, community connections or otherwise, that we talk about those things that we are doing. So if people are curious, they're reading our report and they're saying, okay, here's what we're doing well, or here's where an area of growth would be, here's what we're doing. And I know it's hard with Director Tuckrell not here as well, and Director Stunkel's doing a great job on that. Maybe kind of talk about that more when you come back on the 9th when Director Tuckrell is here, in terms of, are we also communicating to our community what we're doing in the same format that we're saying, here are the goals, what we're doing to achieve those goals.
Can I interject? If I'm not mistaken, I don't know if we're able to clip back to the website, it seemed like some of those steps were listed beneath the goal.
Yeah, it was hard I couldn't read it, so I
Yeah,
wasn't
it's too
sure.
far
Yeah.
away.
Strategies.
But,
Yeah.
I believe, am I right, Director Stunkel?
Yes, I can go back and see if I can return to that. Are you able to see this?
Can you read that?
No.
It's small. I can read it.
Yep.
It says strategies, so under goals, it says strategies. Pre-K 4 and pre-K 3 and 4, teachers will, and pre-K, and it lists a bunch of things. Assess students in the fall, winter, and spring. Meet at least monthly for data meetings and share data results. So there are some.
Yep.
But maybe it's kind of hard for us to read on the big screen. Maybe it would be helpful to put it in the slide next time for our,
Or in the packet.
Packet.
or the packet. Yeah, that's perfect.
That'd be great.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Thanks for being willing to
Yes.
answer questions.
I saw that there were bullet points. I couldn't exactly tell what they were.
Yep.
So, thank you.
I actually do have a question.
Yeah, go ahead, Laura.
Now, at the strategies, are those also a collaboration between the community and the staff as well?
All of it's discussed, and the World's Best Workforce has the opportunity to provide input and make suggestions on how, how to take that next step and how to, continuously improve.
Yeah, just out of curiosity, how large is the committee of the World's Best Workforce Committee?
That would be a good question for Director Tuckrell. That would
Yeah,
be
I'm
included
just,
in the packet.
I'm just kind of curious as to how many individuals are involved in that process.
Yep, I used to be directly involved with it, and now I'm one step removed.
And if I might interject, that the World's Best Workforce, they're a very active committee. And I can speak from experience that a couple of years ago, when we were looking at a new curriculum for our pre-K 3 and pre-K 4 program, we actually brought it to World's Best Workforce. People looked through it, made comments. So it's not just a sit and get kind of committee, but it's a very active committee where we really do take, I've been able to be involved with that committee. And when we present to it, which we have each year for our early childhood because of those goals, we really do elicit information from the committee to help us to do the strategies that will align with the goals. So, I just wanted to say from personal and professional experience that the World's Best Workforce has really influenced and supported the way that we are advancing towards those goals.
All right, thanks. Any further questions? All right, thank you. We'll see you back on the 9th.
Thank you very much.
All right, we will move on to the authorization of bid publication for the Columbia Heights High School and Columbia Academy HVAC with Director of Finance, Brian Hennekens.
Thank you, Chair Severson, members of the board, and Superintendent Stenbeck. This evening, let's get through all parts of the day. I'm here to ask for authorization to publish legal notice for bids for replacement of HVAC systems within both the high school and the middle school. Particular areas are our common spaces that we're focusing on, gym and cafeteria spaces where large groups of kids gather. These are kind of our phase one of replacement as we've been looking at the last 2 years now at our HVAC systems across the district and prioritizing our highest need areas for replacement. And so this is just to publish for bids. And then as we go through that process, like all the other bid processes, once we publish and we receive bids, it will bring that back to the board with recommendations from there.
All right. Can I get a motion to move this one forward?
So moved.
Maureen, motion for approval of HVAC bids. Second,
Second.
Mary? All right, discussion or questions for Brian?
Not yet.
All right, we will then have a vote. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstain? All right, motion carries. We'll move on to the Northeast State Bank Corporate Authorization Resolution, and also with Director Hennekens.
Thank you, Chair Severson, members of the board, and Superintendent Stenvick. This should be familiar to everybody. We've done this once already this school year, or this year. As we change board members, in particular our treasurer and clerk, we, with Director Samarai leaving the board, we have a new treasurer, and we need to have a new authorization resolution for Northeast Bank for our checks. So before you for action is the corporate authorizing resolution, so we can change out that signature.
All right, and I will go ahead and I'll read the required parts. And this says corporate authorization resolution, Northeast Bank, 1135 Silver Lake Road, Northwest, New Brighton, Minnesota, 55112, by Independent School District 13, Columbia Heights / Flex Benefits, 1440 49th Avenue Northeast, Columbia Heights, Minnesota, 55421. Referred to in this document, so Northeast State Bank is referred to in this document as the financial institution, and Independent School District 13 is referred to in this document as corporation. So as I read, you can understand those things. All right, resolutions. The corporation named on this resolution resolves that the financial institution is designated as a depository for funds of the corporation and to provide other financial accommodations indicated in this resolution. This resolution shall continue to have effect until express written notice of its rescission or modification has been received and recorded by the financial institution. Any and all prior resolutions adopted by the Board of Directors of Corporation and certified to the financial institution as governing the operation of this corporation's accounts are in full force and effect until the institution receives and acknowledges an express written notice of its revocation, modification, or replacement. Any revocation, modification, or replacement of a resolution must be accompanied by documentation satisfactory to the financial institution establishing the authority for the changes. 3, the signature of an agent in this resolution is conclusive evidence of their authority to act on behalf of the corporation. Any agent, so long as they act in a representative capacity as an agent of the corporation, is authorized to make any and all other contract agreements, stipulations, and orders which they may deem advisable for the effective exercise of powers indicated in this resolution from time to time with the financial institution, subject to any restrictions on this resolution or otherwise agreed to in writing. 4, all transactions, if any, with respect to any deposits, withdrawals, rediscounts, and borrowings by or on behalf of the corporation with the financial institution prior to the adoption of this resolution are hereby ratified, approved, and confirmed. 5, the corporation agrees to the terms and conditions of any account agreement properly opened by any agent of the corporation. The corporation authorizes the financial institution at any time to charge the corporation for any checks, drafts, or other orders for the payment of money that are drawn on the financial institution so long as they contain the required number of signatures for this purpose. 6, the corporation acknowledges and agrees that the financial institution may furnish at its discretion automated access devices to agents of the corporation to facilitate those powers authorized by this resolution or other resolutions in effect at the time of the issuance. The term automated access device includes but is not limited to credit cards, automated teller machines, ATMs, and debit cards. 7, the corporation acknowledges and agrees that the financial institution may rely on alternative signatures and verification codes issued to or obtained from the agent named in this resolution. The term alternative signatures and verification codes includes but is not limited to facsimile signatures on file with the financial institution, personal identification, PIN, and digital signatures. If a facsimile signature specimen has been provided on this resolution or on the filed or that are filed separately by the corporation with the financial institution from time to time, the financial institution is authorized to treat the facsimile signature as a signature of the agent's, regardless of by whom or what means the facsimile signature may be affixed, so long as it resembles the facsimile signature specimen on file. The corporation authorizes each agent to have custody of the corporation's private key used to create digital signature and to request issuance of a certificate listing the corresponding public key. The financial institution shall have no responsibility or liability for unauthorized use of alternative signature and verification codes unless otherwise agreed in writing. I don't know if you were reading along with me, but that was something, and there are several typos in here. Do we just vote on the idea of the resolution, or do we have to note the typos?
I think we can take care of those.
Okay, because like resolution is spelled incorrectly, there's like not incomplete words. Yeah, and at one point it says fall force, or in fall force, I assume that means full force? Okay,
Yeah, so just so a note, we received this in a imaged PDF format.
oh,
And we use software to convert it to Word
okay,
and import it into board books.
okay, thank you, that makes more sense.
Yeah.
I think the meaning
document
is
that-
clear nonetheless.
document that Dawn has for you to sign is the actual original.
Okay, sounds good. All right. Can I get a motion to move forward with the corporate authorization resolution?
So moved.
Mary?
Second.
Laura? Discussion?
You need to get a drink after, like, that was a lot.
That was
Not,
a-
I mean, like
had
water or
Water,
something?
yeah, my throat's parched. Those are a lot of big words too, so glad I didn't have my glasses on. Yes, Laura?
Question, who's the treasurer?
Molly.
Oh, okay.
Molly is now our
I
treasurer.
just didn't remember. We're in there. That's what I was thinking.
All right, great question.
Okay.
All right, hearing no more discussion, are we ready for a vote? All right, all those in favor?
Isn't this a roll
The
call vote?
resolution.
Thank you. Thank you.
Granlund.
Aye.
Mueller.
Aye.
Palmer. Aye. Severson.
Aye. Apparently all that reading rendered my brain putty. All right. Motion carries. We will move on to joint powers agreement for election expense with Anoka County, and we'll invite Don Hoyam, our school board election clerk.
Good evening. Good evening, Madam Chair, members of the board, Superintendent Stenvick. At the last regular meeting, I presented information on the joint power agreement for election expenses with Anoka County. Tonight, I seek approval of this agreement. In the background of the cover sheet, it shows the 4 updates, including updating of the dates, removal of Category D hospital districts, updating languages for calculating populations and percentages, and allocating a portion of absentee ballot postage costs to cities and schools. As I stated in the last meeting, that it is more cost efficient for us to go with Anoka County than to do it on our own. And we also, when we have general elections with the county and the city, we have higher voter turnout.
All right. Well, I'll ask for a motion to approve the joint powers agreement for the election expenses with Anoka County.
So moved.
All right, Laura, second?
Second.
Laura and Lorian. Any discussion or questions? All right, we'll do a vote. This one I got. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? Motion carries. All right, thank you.
Thanks, John.
Thanks for saving us money. All right, and last but not least, on our agenda tonight, interaction items, is the National School Board Association Conference. And we will need a motion to approve the conference schedule. And as you guys see, as y'all see there, it says background per policy 201, out-of-state travel by school board members. We are asking for approval of up to 2 school board members to attend the National School Board Association Annual Conference in San Diego in April 2022. The expenditures are already reflected in the school board budget. The 2022 conference rotation is 1, Chair Severson, 2, Member Palmer, 3, Member Granlund, 4, Vice Chair Mueller, and 5, Member Lewis, and the 6th would be our new member, TBD, it says here, which I think is a great way to put it. I'm looking for a motion to approve the National School Board Association Conference out-of-state travel.
So moved.
All right,
Second.
Mary, Maureen. Discussion.
I'm just really hoping by the time we get to number 3 that we can all just like actually travel and not have so many worries about it. And I hope it's someplace warm.
Yeah.
Just a comment, I think just reiterating that it is reflected in the budget, so that that's already, the expenses are accounted for. And that if we, I'm assuming 2 of you are going to bring back lots of information. For us, is it's a good opportunity, especially with our board goals. My ask is that those that go keep our board goals in mind as you're seeking which workshops you're attending.
Yeah, I was excited last time we went, just to be able to, for more of us to have exposure to the things that we were learning. And I had many takeaways that came. I forwarded maybe an annoying amount of emails to Superintendent Stenvik about things I was learning. And so I'm excited to bring that back, so.
Yeah, I always come back from the conferences, and having it virtually last year was actually really incredibly cool, because you could go back to sessions that you missed. I was kind of hoping that they would have that option as well, because there's so many good opportunities for learning, and you literally just can't go to all of them. But
All right. We will do a vote. Hearing no more discussion, we're good? All right, all those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? All right, motion carries. We'll move on to board topics.
I have a couple things.
Yeah.
Just letting folks out there know, there's some really great things that are happening in the district in terms of student athletics and events and activities. And I was refreshing myself with our schedule in preparation to report at the city council meeting last night. And for those who don't know, if you go on the district website and you click on the little trophy that's athletics and activities, and then click on the blog, it lists like all the activities for the week of what's happening, and if live streaming available, the live stream link is there. So really great information to see what's happening. I know we've got lots of athletic sections happening for several sports this week. The fall play is coming up November 12th through 14th, and I'm super excited. It's Clue on stage. And I love Clue. So just lots of really great things that our students are doing, and that the public can come and see again. So, and see these spaces that we have. So I think Director Hendrickson is doing a really good job of just putting that information out there on the website, and then those live stream links too. So just, that tool is out there.
So you could say, as soon as they're done with the broadcast here, they could, if they're watching it live, they could click over to the football game.
They could click over to
which
the
is
football game.
happening right now.
Yep.
Yep. Any other board topics? right, hearing none, we will adjourn our meeting at 7:41.